Hey, don't we got an intro? Slap that.
Tin can phone, Mike and Armon, Joe, Queaz, we the ones that you can depend on to bring the voices from the inside out. Locked down, but they not locked out. No filter over here. Check what we be talking about. Feet up in the trenches, Bob. While you're on the fences, metal detector before you enter. Shaky medical and see your stitches. They be pushing their weight around. Educate, didn't have the time to wait around. Taking classes while they played around. That's what we call staying down. What we call staying down. That's what we call staying down. Mike, Armon, Joe, Queaz. Dang, this tin can phone.
Tin can phone, man. I wonder if that intro will ever get old. I don't think so.
Nah, that ain't gonna get over. That way too lit. This your boy, Misfit Adi, because I don't fit in with those guys. Debonair Brexon, never square dressing. Yes, sir. I'm right here with my partner, Joe Rosenberger, that is. What's happening, brother?
What's going on, Queaz, man? I'm just happy to be here with all you guys. Armon, how are you doing?
No, it's called Quentin Quarantino. That's the name. And I'm doing all right. Just surviving. Mike, how you doing now? You sleeping?
Oh, man, I was on that night shift, sweeping up, doing all that stuff. I need a shot of coffee.
Oh, don't say a shot of coffee.
That's how you say it.
Prison slang. That's contraband language. That's contraband language.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say a shot of coffee is contraband, isn't it?
Sir.
It is.
If it comes from somebody else.
I love it. Well, yeah, my Sally next door, he's got a shot of coffee for me. This week, our episode, Contraband. What does that mean?
Listen, there's two different meanings of contraband. Now, Michael, you the only one who, I can't even say haven't been inside because you sure been inside. You was inside just as much as us. So
I've been
you the only one who wasn't incarcerated. So I need you to grab me some contraband. Show me where your contraband at. What contraband you got? Show me some contraband.
Show you some contraband? I don't have any contraband right now. I just
got no contraband.
There's peanut butter in my peanut butter jar. So
look, this is what we're gonna do, guys.
Okay.
I'm sorry to tell y'all this. We can't have Mike on here talking about
all right.
Contraband. So Mike, listen, next episode, I'm gonna need you to come and produce some contraband. You can't be here, brother. It's just that party because this is tin can phone and we for real. We in the street with it, Michael. So
peanut butter in my crunchy peanut butter jar. Does that count?
Hey,
no,
I'm gonna figure it out.
No clues. Hey, y'all. Hey, Spencer came over the board game. You better check out the board game and figure out what contraband is.
I'll get the manual.
Don't come back with the phony contraband tokens because that's not acceptable.
I gotta have real, not fake contraband.
Yes.
I think I can do it. Well, y'all do this show justice. You inform those listeners all about what is and is not allowed. I cannot even for my ears.
You are not allowed today, Michael. You are contraband right now in this conversation.
Well, just keep it at 55 before you gotta line up for count. And I'm out.
Oh,
rest easy.
Later, Michael.
Hey, you better bring back like a brick of cheese or something, like something good.
I'm just
something he smuggled in
something?
his pants. If he doesn't smuggle whatever he brings in his pants, I'm not accepting it.
Facts. Hey, facts. We're going to put the rules on it that he don't even know. We're going to see how much, he been around the guys. You feel me? He been around the guys. Let's see how much he's picked up.
So wait a second. This is a great first topic. Like, what are the rules of contraband? What does something have to be contraband? Queaz, tell us.
Hold on. Are we talking minimum or are we talking maximum?
We're talking where everybody starts. Maximum.
Okay. So again,
most people start.
So I'm gonna just speak for the ones who made everybody want me to say a shank. I'm not saying no shank. We all know that's contraband. When I had my Mike and Nikes in my white tumbler, and I like to pour them. I don't like pouring them in my hand. I like to pour them in my mouth out the tumbler. I got hit with contraband, bro. I'm sorry. I thought it I can't be like more I'm real. Like I got hit with contraband.
Right. You like that's literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard happen to somebody.
I mean, they got the pencils and the cups.
Right. Well, like that's the thing. Like what you're saying is that
okay. So
you have hold on, Armand, hold on.
But you said the rules.
Right. But you're saying that it's a rule, like the rule that you just brought up for us is that if you put something into a different container than what it originally came in,
Facts.
then both the container and the contents are now contraband.
Yeah, it's considered altering. Once you alter something, it's a wrap.
Yeah. Fuck, chew on it, you alter it, but whatever.
But you
were
said the
saying
So for everyone at home, contraband, an apple like that. I used to get nailed for that all the time. I'd sneak an apple in my sock,
trying to get the
go back to the unit, and that big fat CO would always come out there and just bust me for having an apple. You gave me the apple.
Dude, this reminds me very specifically, if I may, of a story where a CO saw a guy walking down the hallway with a sack lunch from medical, and he stopped him and took the apple out of his bag because you're not allowed to have an apple in your cell. And then he started to eat the apple in front of this man, and he gave him the sack lunch back, took a bite of the apple, and said, "All right, go back to your cell now."
That's crazy.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. I guess that's relevant, but
how much?
Hey,
you know
free the
what,
homie
and like,
BG, man.
I don't want to start this off.
Hey, free the homie BG. They tried to cook the homie for the oranges in the chow hall. He started tripping, man. Free the homie BG, man.
Okay, wait. Let's get back to business. Let's talk about the rules of contraband. Yeah. What like classifies an object as contraband? We know that if something is put into a different container than what it came in,
altered,
you're not allowed to have it. Altered, right? I know that if you use something for some other purpose besides what it is intended for, then it's contraband.
Facts.
You know? So like if
that is contraband.
God, if you use soap to hang, like, because you ever see people like they would get a bar of soap wet and they would stick it on the wall, and then you could hang something from the bar of soap because it's stuck to the wall. People would hang their TVs from bars of soap, but then
hang porn in the shower.
Yeah, people would. Oh yeah, people would hang. I mean, porn was contraband. You'd walk into the shower stall and it's just like literally a Mod Podge of porn on the wall. It's a collage. You're like, man, how many? Like, what am I standing in?
Facts. But you already know you got to spray the shower down with the disinfectant.
Oh yeah.
You even get in.
Oh yeah. But anyway.
Even that, trying to have your own disinfectant, like you try to buy your cleaning materials and you mixing it together and shit. Oh, contraband.
Or if like you're only allowed to use the cleaners on the toilets and in your bunk area, and if you take it to use it anywhere else, they're gonna be like, "Hey, what are you doing? That's contraband." You know, like why do you have that cleaner in the hallway? I don't know. I'm going to use it somewhere else. And they're like, no. and
I always thought it was crazy. When, I'm not to cut you off, Joe, but because I feel like a lot of the contraband comes down to like this like power struggle between like a CEO that's having a bad day and then like he's trying to follow the rules. So like it always blew my mind when they like would take artistic stuff, you know, like it's like that's different than like having like a cell phone or, you know, miscellaneous little, you know, this or that.
So you brought up something else interesting here, Armon, is that if you give something to somebody, it's contraband, right? Like, so Queaz, we never got in trouble for this, but I gave you a notebook one time.
Facts.
And like, that was an illegitimate transaction between us, technically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure you still have it. I still have one that you gave me.
Facts.
And not only did you give it to me, but then we made a collage on the notebook, which is like, if you rip out a piece of paper from a magazine, they'll take it from you as contraband.
Facts.
You're not allowed to keep magazine clippings. So like pretty much everything we did to like have a rewarding friendship with each other and to like be friends and hang out and spend like healthy time as people together was all illegitimate and not allowed. Like our time itself was contraband at that point, the basis of our time.
Just when I used to come down to the bunk and pop it with y'all and just you feel me, be sitting over there, that was at an area, you feel me, like a down there could have went to the hole for that shit if the right one of the COs that Armon was talking about, if one of them COs was on. That's why if you remember sometimes when I would see them through the window doing they walk, you feel me, I had to like dip back, but my bunk was so close, like we was in the same hallway. But just you're right, just the time that we spent was contraband.
It was illegitimate.
It was crazy. It's crazy. And it's like
here's another version of
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, going back to the small stuff. If you and two buddies have a delicious spread And now that you guys are combining foods together, I've seen COs just take the entire meal and throw it away. You know how disrespectful that is when you
That's usually
Blackburn.
That's all you have is that meal.
Hold on. I just want to take this moment to call out Officer at Columbia River Correctional Institution, who is known. Oh my! Wait, hold on. She is known for watching people make food together. She'll see people pool their food together, and she'll watch them do the whole process of making it. And as soon as they have it in different bowls and they're ready to eat, she'll walk over and tell all of them to stop and take all the food and go throw it all away. And then she'll say, okay, good night, go to your beds, go to your bunks now. She sends you to bed hungry because you were going to commune with your friends in the day room, which is what people have been doing, by the way, for thousands of years. More than thousands of years.
Our producers might have to edit this out, but
you know what? I mean, I feel like that's okay to say right there, Queaz, because what she did was atrocious.
It's just an emotion.
Yeah, I get it. No, I mean, well, yeah, that's how I feel. I just can't say it quite like you did.
Yeah. I just want to shout out that one motherfucker that looked like an action figure. I want to shout out that one dude who got walked off the premises because he was all in the bitch emails. I should have left the bitch alone.
Wait, is this like Tin Can Phone, like Raw episode right now? Like contraband episode?
Our captain ain't gonna like that. Let's get back.
And we can't have it so that the first time that Michael leaves, we're just like totally spiraling into the rabbit hole. Just like, I mean, first of all, how did I make it through prison and I can't even sound like it?
Listen,
anyway.
real life, all games aside, shouts out to any CO that was really for the boys in blue, the ones who really looked out for us, the ones who let us. Shouts out to y'all. To the rest of y'all could choke on the dead dog. That's on gang. Free all the homies up out that motherfucker. We moving on from there.
Yeah. No, it's true though. Awesome. It is in the sense that it's like the ones that just let us do our thing could understand, had a little empathy for us. Like, you know what? These boys ain't got shit, but it brings them a little bit of happiness to mix some ramen noodles with a meat stick and then make a burrito. And then at least for next hour, they have something to do. They're happy and they're going to watch NBA or whatever. But
everything cool. Everything going to be cool, bro. Like
it was for sure a power thing for those.
So listen, there's this such thing called as a chaos agent. And these are people who are sent to certain organizations. They're sent to join certain powerful organizations and cause havoc within the organization. And so they're called chaos agent. And they're sent on powerful organizations that are becoming powerful, the wise, the ones that have followings, and the ones that shed light, right? So like you got to think, some of those dudes, when they see all different type of adults in custody. So when they see somebody that kind of got some sense about themselves, and they always try to do to bring them down. Like they're not messing with the dudes that's running around smoking cigarettes and doing all whatever they doing. But the ones that kind of got a little sense about themselves, it's like they want that when they search your bunk or they search your cell, they throw your pictures on the ground. You feel me? Like it's just like they do when they see what books you reading. Like I always try to tell the homies, whatever you holding on to, like they see who you are when you're not in that cell. So I always had self-help books. I always had just all the like real estate books, music books, business books. So when they come in your cell and they see it's clean and they see shit like that, then it's like, you know, like they kind of like, all right, let me see what's up with this dude. You feel me? So it's really kind of on us too to present, like they already got an assumption that they have about us. You know what I mean? We can't live into the stereotype. Are they going to treat us as, you know, one size fit all? You feel me? And that like,
you know, and
one inmate is all of them.
I like that you said that because that definitely makes me think about how the way that a guard will assess a prisoner. Like they're wondering, like, what do you have on you? Fact. And if you're representing yourself like in a very clean and just like guiltless, which is kind of ironic to call yourself guiltless in prison, but like even though you're guilty as in a general way there, like you have to present yourself as being innocent despite that, which is really hard. And like you can't have your hands in your pockets, like you're self-conscious about that. You got to walk a certain way. Like you're like, am I walking like I got something in my pants? Because other people are, or that's what they're looking for. Right. And you might only have a sugar packet in your pants, but you're going to treat it as if like you're hiding like a knife up your ass.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, am I walking? Am I walking okay? Is my face composed? Am I sweating? I got to wipe the sweat off the side of my face, because if like I could get patted down, I got to get through this hallway.
Facts.
I want to have sugar in my coffee. I got to get through this hallway. And
real life.
Or how many times you go to the yard? How many times you go to the yard to get a bag of coffee from a friend? You're like, hey man, I have no coffee this week. Can you get me? And he's like, yeah, I'll bring it to the yard. But like, still, if he brings it to the yard, you have to make it back inside, or you're not going to have coffee, and you're still going to have to pay him back, right? And like, this is a big thing, like a big precarious thing dictating your life. You're behaving entirely different around these circumstances, which are so simple.
It's summertime, 97 degrees. Dude is in a full jean jacket and jeans on the yard because he just wants to look less conspicuous with some coffee.
I'm dead, bro. That's so real.
Hey, how about remember at Columbia River, they changed the rule. They were trying to humanize everybody and said, you can go to yard whenever you want now. No more yard lines. You can just come and go from the unit to the yard to the unit. And Sergeant was like, I'm trying to get this stopped. I don't want inmates in the hallway passing contraband. And it's like, so if I pass somebody a pencil, that's going to make you restrict everybody else's freedom. If I pass somebody a spoon of coffee or a card that I drew and sold to him that he's going to send to his girlfriend, no one gets to go to yard when they please. We're not allowed to be humanized because of that. Think about that, guys.
Well, go ahead, Armon.
No. You're about to make a good point, but I was just thinking on another thing, like how some books, and you were even alluding it to, like, you want to, have certain books around, and, even if you're not engaging in the books, you want to have them around to at least have the look of innocence. But some books, I had about 3 books that were sent in that I never got because they were considered contraband. I think it was like a Robert Greene, like a book about power and psychology. They had Robert some coding books too, like HTML coding. Like, they're like, nah, that's contraband, not allowed in here. They have a whole book filled of books that you can't get in the facility.
Yeah, and a lot of books you can't even get in due to the cover. Like, the cover art literally could stop a book from getting in. The book you're talking about is Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power, and the 50th Law with 50 Cent. And great books, though. I had them before they stopped them from coming in. Oh, God.
It's just,
but what was you saying, Joe? What was that last thing that you were speaking on?
Oh, just how Sergeant was trying to, like, so the whole initiative where they were like, you can go to yard when you want now. Yeah. At Columbia River, they were like, that's a very human. Like, we're trying to humanize you guys, and it was like, no, I don't want this to be happening. I'm going to shut it down. As soon as I catch people passing contraband, I'm going to try to get this shut down. And it's like, so we're not allowed to be human because we're doing we're doing human things. Humans have been exchanging things with each other, trading, bartering, helping each other, right? When you trade something, usually it's because both parties are gaining something.
Fair exchange ain't no robbery.
Exactly. So like, but nobody's getting robbed.
You got to think about this, though. Some people who usually don't have a life or isn't happy with their life, what do? They become workaholics, right?
Yeah.
So these guys are human. Most of these guys are military background. Most of these guys are, they was raised their whole life like this, and then they get into, corrections, and they really want to be cops, but they can't make the cut to be cops. So they get into corrections because there's no physical, challenge for them. But they engage, like, their job is everything. Like, they're real life detectives. Them dudes wasn't just COs. Like, to them, they were a real life detective. Like, they took tape home and studied tape at home and watched units at home. And I'm telling you this with 100% guarantee that this has happened because,
Right. I remember officers at Columbia River would take phone
Joe, you dropping names, bro.
Of course. No, hold on. Hey, hold on. I haven't even spoken on Officer Snake River.
Hold on, but let me answer your question, though. Let me answer your question, though.
You're right.
They engage themselves just like any workaholic would. People lose themselves in their jobs when their real life is not as interesting. So when they're doing their thing, like, they get together, they drinking beers and all that shit, watching tape, like, they're real detectives at that time, like, and you can't tell them that they're not. So then when they come back to work, they think that and sometimes the inmates or the adults in custody do, like, we plot, like, oh, we know when this CO come on, we gonna move like this. When this CO, like, it's homework on both sides. But some COs don't understand that not all adults in custody is playing the cat and mouse game. Like, they're so caught up in what they're doing that it's with everybody, even with each other. Like, you seen the crazy shit that was going on between CO and CO, and like, it was a mess. You feel me? And we tend to forget that we dehumanize them. Like, they're COs, but they're not humans. Like, they're humans too. Like, they come to work, like, they wives don't give it up, and then they come to work mad, you feel me, and want to trip on us. And you know, they have sticks up there. Just like sometimes we be like, man, that CO's up. You feel me? Wooty wop. But to answer the question, these dudes is engaging because they're real people and they need therapy and they need to be content with their life. Most of the time, the COs that act like that, they have nothing else going on. Their job, that job is everything to them. And you can tell by the other COs when you talk to them, and they have horses and they have businesses and they have all these other things. And being a CO is just another job that they feel like they're giving back for whatever wrongs they have done or whatever, however they was raised, they giving back.
Serving their community.
A CO, you feel me? So it's just like, you just got to think about the mental state of the CO. Some of them dudes living in fantasies, and some of them people have lives outside of prison. So when they walk out of prison, it's just like they're going home too. And I actually had COs tell me that, like, man, I'm getting out. I'm getting out. I see y'all. You feel me? Or I'll be like, you feel me? Like, I just had COs joke around like, bro, like, I'm here. You got, because you can't be minimum unless you got 4 years or less. You got 4 years. I got 30. Because them COs is doing 30 years because they going to that prison every single day. They doing they doing life too. So we got to humanize them and understand the mental capacity that they possess. You feel me? They humans, and sometimes they don't got no life. So they job is everything.
That reminds me of there was a time that I met this CO that was like training. He just started, and I was talking to him.
Contraband.
And he was sorry, but I mean he realized, like, for him, I guess, like, I'm trying to relate this to Contraband now that you brought it up. I don't know if I can. I'm not. No,
I just forgot. I was just, what is we Contraband?
No, but no, we definitely, I guess, wandered a little bit, but I think that's okay because we're discussing the circumstances around CO's behavior and why they go after you for these things.
Facts. It's important.
And no, but I just wanted to, like, bring up, like, the CO I met. Like, he started to realize that, like, he was also there. Like, just because he was working there, like, he was still, like, living in a prison for like half of his wakeful day. You know what I mean? So, like, we as people who are formerly incarcerated, we like to champion this whole idea about how what it's like to live there and to exist there, and as it relates to us, that as we live there. But these COs, like, we never think about them, about how they spend half of their time in the prison also. Yeah. And they're operating under this, like, under different power circumstances than we are. They're on the opposite end. You know what I mean? And that definitely plays with their psyche differently. And I mean,
yeah, but no sympathy, man. They chose this career and this, that, the other thing. You can go back a million times. You know, you can make one mistake, and you're in there forever.
But hold on. I'm not even trying to bring up a question of sympathy here. I'm just trying to, like, understand on a basic level, like, what's going on with this person. Like, we can't just ignore the fact that they are also suffering. Like, no, they're not happy. We know that. And we're trying to be like, oh, we suffer so bad as people that live there and people that used to live there. It's like, yes, that's true. Let's acknowledge the other true facts, that as a worker at that prison, they're suffering. No one's happy with that job.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong there. You're perfect. You're totally wrong there. Them dudes love that. They in the gym. They slap boxing, slap boxes. Them dudes
they
love
think
that.
They love it.
No,
they think they love it.
Why do you think they're losing their wives? Because they're just too fucking coppish. They're taking work home, and they're like, you don't think shit. He's in the hallway like, go that way. Like, he's loving it. He's loving it. Them dudes is man, listen. Them dudes is loving it, bro. You got to remember, I worked in intake, bro. They love it. Why you think they spend all their time there? And they wives be at home lonely than a mother. You feel me? And then that's why they wives start choosing up too. They so obsessed with the dudes in prison. That's why their wives get obsessed with them too. You feel me? Shouts out to them.
Hey. No, I think that there's something truth to that. Let me build on that real quick. I think some of these guards, they just hate when they see a young dude up in there. He might even be an old dude up in there doing hell time, done the time. and has more swagger, demeanor, and seemingly things going on the outside than he does at his day-to-day job. All he has is his job. We're making moves. We might be making moves inside. I might be making moves outside. You don't know. I was making a million moves. And I could tell the officers that could see, you know, when I had like a cute little thing come visit me and we're eating candy bars and, you know what I mean? Then I'm up on the unit, you know, running a card table or this or that. And I could just see him. And he's like, you know, next time that little cute little 23-year-old comes in, I'm going to search your back, dude. So you better be ready for all that.
Facts.
Because there are dudes that got more going on.
You got to think too. Like I used to hit that because I didn't have a job, you feel me, for the longest. And then I used to hit them when they would say something to me. They would always say something to me about work, and I'd be like, "How much you get paid? Like, how much is your check? How much is your next check gonna be?" And then I would have that put on my books because I know they looking like, man, listen, I don't need the job. Give it to somebody who need it. You feel me? Like, and they really just couldn't stand that shit. But the difference was I was never super rowdy, in their face, loud. Like, that wasn't my character, you feel me? So, but they was able to see, like, I'm not finna play with y'all. Like, I'm gonna be respectful, but hey, give it to somebody. And they just hated that demeanor. Like, they just hated when they can't get to you. And then it becomes like a thing to them. Like, the one, whoever the big goofy, he's a goofy, the big goofy op, like, he took a splitter from me, you feel me? Like a splitter, which was contraband because I didn't buy it. But it was a splitter in my TV, so 2 sets of headphones could be plugged in. And you searched my entire bunk, and out of everything, you took a splitter. And he had all rights to take it because it was contraband. But it's like, come on.
And a splitter is like the most, like, again, it's like one of those things that you can use. So you have a celly, you guys can both vibe.
Hold
Joe,
on.
Sorry.
Let's not pay attention to the fucking details of a damn splitter. I'm sorry. Because there's a very important rule that Queaz just brought up. Out of all the things that he took a splitter. Do you know why? Because he had to take something. That is one of the rules of contraband, is that there has to be contraband. If you're a prisoner, you have to have contraband. Even if you don't, you must. You must because you're a prisoner. Woo. So when a new CO is being trained, they tell them, they're like, when you're searching a bunk, you know there's contraband. Find it. Take something. And I had an officer come up to my door one day. He opened the door, which in the morning, nothing's going on. We all know that about a medium prison. Nothing happens in the morning. So when your door opens, panic time. What is happening? Who's coming to my cell? Where do I have to go? I didn't have a call out. My door is opening at a strange time. It's not a line movement. Like, am I going to the hole? All these things run through your mind. You're panicking. Right. So this particular occasion, I go to the door. The officer meets me there, and he goes, "Look, I have to search your cell, but I don't want to. Give me something you're not supposed to have." It's like I gave him a hat that somebody gave me. Right, but the whole point of the story is not that how cool he was, because I did appreciate what he did, that he didn't come tear apart my cell. The point of the story is, like, all he needed, his job did not require him to actually search my cell. It was not about the search, it was about taking something from me. So every time a cell is searched, they'll just take something from you. They'll, like, anything. I had a ruler that broke in half. I still used it to measure things because nothing in your cell is longer than a foot. I'm sorry. But so if I had an 8-inch long ruler, I kept it because it was entirely useful. But it was broken, and they took it one day, and that's all I had to be taken. And I was like, really? But the whole point is, like, they didn't want to leave with nothing. They'll take an extra roll of toilet paper just to write down on that contraband slip, that cell search slip. Shakedown report, they call it. Shakedown report. Extra toilet paper. How many did I have that say extra toilet paper? I don't know. Yeah. But that's very telling of how they look at you, that you have something, that you're doing something wrong, that you are wrong for what you're doing.
And 9 times out of 10, you do got something. You'll be happy. People, we tend to be like, well, we ain't got this or this or this, so this.
Well, don't confirm what they believe, because the reality is we don't have anything wrong 9 times out of 10. But technically, we do. If we're looking at the rules of the prison, yes, people have contraband. But if you're looking at the practicality and rationale of life, then people have the things that they need. very rarely do you run into somebody in prison that has a shank or a knife.
Facts.
Right? Very rarely do people have drugs. People keep drugs to themselves. It's not just diffuse across the prison. Everybody's got drugs.
This is the thing, Joe. You just really wasn't with the shit. Like with the shit.
No, hold on.
I saw dab pins, joints.
Hey, listen.
Yes. Wait.
That, bro. Like, cause I know for a fact, like, boy, it was booming. You feel me? So
no, it's booming, but it seems like it because our worlds in there are so small. But on a large part, most people that use shakedown, most cells after getting a shakedown are not like drugs are constant. I would say.
Shouts out to that one CO that they tried to put under investigation, man, because they said that he was the reason all this. It's this guy. Hey, man, shouts out to that one dude, man. I'm glad you beat that, man. You got a job still, man. Hey, it's easy, bro. Listen, when I was I'm talking about zaps a week, zaps a tree, bro. Like meth, heroin.
No, I know, yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
But like one person. When I was at Deer Ridge, only one person had all the weed. And sure, he sold it.
We're speaking on Columbia River.
I'm sorry, Columbia River. I mean, yeah, only. You know what? I can't. I got to check out of this subject because I didn't really. You're right. I got to concede. You're right. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. Next. Okay. Anyway.
No, but I think we bring up some good points here that there's levels to this shit. Like anything. Like a Sharpie that I would take from the classroom when I was tutoring and go sell for a pop ticket. That is different.
That and the pop ticket are contraband.
Than the dude who was at Coffee Creek with me that had like an ounce of meth in his apple. So there are levels to this shit. You know what I mean?
Armon, did you have to say the whole word apple? Because that was really aggressive. You could have said ass. I would have understood it wasn't in his butt cheek.
It was deep up in that hole.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding. Holds no punches. We know who was watching up earlier.
Okay, wait. This video is going to need some serious editing. Anyway, we can't do that with Tin Can Phone, by the way. It's raw. It's just first cut. Anyway, can I tell you guys a story about my first ever contraband?
Let's hear it. Yes, of course.
My first ever contraband was toilet paper that I rolled into a tight ball, and I got it wet, and I squeezed it into the tightest possible ball and rolled it tight and let it dry overnight. And while I was bored in my cell, I would throw it against the wall, and it would bounce back to me, and I would just throw it and throw it and throw it. And his CEO caught me doing that one day and made me give it up. And they said, you can't have toilet paper like that. It's contraband. It's not meant for that. And they took it and they wrote a contraband slip. And this was in Washington County Jail. And a few weeks later, a CO came in and shook down my cell and took a piece of cardboard. You know how you buy a pad of paper and it's got the cardboard on the bottom?
Facts.
So I ripped that off the back and I turned it into a chessboard. And I use it to play chess. They don't give you a chessboard in county jail. And a CO came in and took it. And I was like, hey, why are you taking that? And he goes, oh, do you want to keep it? Because I can write you up for contraband if you want me to give it back. And then I'll take it anyway. But I'm being nice right now and just throwing it away like you never had it. And I was like, either way, it's fucking miserable for me.
Yeah, that's the worst part about the whole contraband on small level shit like that. It's just like, my life already sucks. You're taking my chessboard away and my toilet ball, bro. Really? It's already not going good for me.
I mean, I'm not even happy with a chessboard on the cardboard or a toilet paper ball. Like, that's not like that life. That didn't enrich my life greatly. It just distracted me from wanting to carve away the wall with my own fingernails. You know what I mean? Wow. But anyway, like, what did you guys experience first with contraband, and how did it confuse you?
You're gonna have to go, Armon, because I can't even really remember my first
contraband, man.
I mean, just as far like,
you know what? I remember.
Go ahead.
When I landed in county jail when I was younger, as a teenager, and a guy wanted to sell a phone call, and I gave him a phone call. And
explain that process. How did you give him a phone call?
He was like, hey,
no. How is it done? Tell us how it's done.
Okay, so all these, first off, there's all these billion-dollar corporations that take advantage of us using the phones in there. Some folks don't have any money. So when I see someone that kind of is in need, kind of look like he's down on his luck, and he's just like, yo, he asked nicely. He's like, man, could you please make a phone call to my girl so I can pop on and talk to her for a little bit? I was like, bro, I don't care. I have plenty of phone money, and you want to talk to her for a couple minutes? Let's let it ride. So I go over there, boop, 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 put in my little info, my little number and everything, and then just kind of drop the phone and waltz away and let dude, and I kind of watch around and just let him take his phone call. And they let us take the phone call, but then right when he's over, they're like, both you selling. I was like, what? And they're like, you can't do that. Cannot do that. And from that was when I was a teenager. So I was like, oh, this is how we're playing. You know, in my head, I was doing something nice for someone. I was like, okay, bro, you need a 3-minute phone call, whatever. Say, son to your girl. I'll do that for you, bro. It's not a big deal at all. And just that act alone we were sold in for 24 hours. Me and this dude.
Even taking that selling though, I still do that shit again. You feel me? Because it's like you let somebody talk to their son, you let somebody talk to their girl. I was sitting here thinking, bro, and like I was corrupted at a young age. My uncle actually showed me contraband before I ever even like really been to jail. I have been to Julian County a couple times, but this story specifically, like this like he had meth on him. We get cough, boop, gun in the car like crazy. You feel me? This when I catch my gun case, and we in the back seat. And I remember like you always hear stories and you hear about this, but I ain't never really seen it. And so we in the back seat, handcuffed. He next to me, and he like got his handcuff. He got handcuffs on, but he got the meth in his little pocket. So he pulls it out of his little pocket. You feel me? With the handcuffs on, and boom, he stuffs it in a keister. You feel me? He keisters it. And this is like on the street on the way to like get us just getting arrested. And I seen it and I was like, what the he just put it in his pants? So then I took this I had and I just put it in my butt cheek. Like I didn't like, you feel me, stuff it. So I'm like, yeah, I'm good. You feel me? And we get to jail and we get to jail and they take us to the little strip room, you feel me? And it fall right out. I had like some things and some other shit like fell out, and I got hit with that too. But like I never really realized what I seen, and like he made it into the jail. Like he shot me some in jail, and like we just boomed up. Like from that point forward, like it was never no need to go to canteen. And I was young. I was like that's my first county bid. Then like right after that, I went to prison.
I would always find that kind of sad once you like the people that had done the time, and you know what I mean? It's like you'd see someone that they've done like 3 sets. They might be in their 30s or something right now, 40s even. And they stay ready for jail and prison. Like they stay ready. Like I used to I've had multiple guys be like, yeah, bro, I hit the street with a package ready to go up that thing if I need it. You know what I mean? Because I might just be going back tomorrow. I live like that. So I better stay ready for that and be able to get people high and have some sort of money.
Wait a second.
Shouts out to that one dude who let his wife talk him into violating his suspended sentence so he could come back.
Oh, no. For the homies?
I don't even want to know that story. That's tragic. Anyway, but I'm just it causes me a lot of pain and grief to think that people are taking around balloons ready to go up their rectum. You're living out of prison and you're packaging contraband for prison.
Facts.
And think about that. Like, dude, if I got fired from my job or if I quit or something, I wouldn't still practice the same habits that I do to get ready to go to work for that job. Right? Well, I guess I could be going back to work there tomorrow.
It's different. You know it's survival, bro. You got to know your life. You feel me? Some dudes know.
I know, but like, but here's the thing. Like,
some dudes know they're not ready to give it up.
Facts.
But like that, I have so many arguments against that because like, I guess if you're not ready to give it up, you're not ready to give it up.
Facts.
But like there's a lot more to say on the subject than that. Why aren't you giving like if you're like you're really that okay with going to prison?
Yes. Some people are nobody until they get to prison. Some people are just tweaker, smoker, just nobody, stealing from their family. They get to prison and then they become the homeboy, and they become somebody. So when attention, being somebody, fame is a drug, it's an addiction. You feel me? So like you gotta think. People go to prison and you become a homeboy. You get a little weight up under you because you're not smoking no more, and you actually have a name. You are actually somebody. Are you gonna want to leave that place? Knowing when you go home, you finna go home straight to that package. You finna go home and
be
a smoker again.
Are you saying that? I mean, what I have sort of divined out of this is that if somebody has that attitude about it, like they're pretty low down on the streets, which I mean, if I feel pretty low to the ground myself, and I'm not doing any of that. That's just the way prison primes you to feel before you get out. You feel like but no, well, hold on. I just want to know, is this whole thing about being prepared to go to prison, like preparing not only to like yourself to go in with what you want for whatever reason, but like you're setting up yourself to be like highly regarded and highly esteemed by your peers, because you're going to show up with like whatever amount of drugs you have, and that's automatically going to send you into the top of this like power scheme. Facts. Right? You have now everything you need to be wealthier than anybody else around you. Facts. Right? Just in your and not only that, but like you can get whatever you want from people with that. People will do anything for that.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So like if I believed that I was like more highly regarded and more fulfilled with that regard in prison, I would definitely prepare myself to go with all the power that I needed to have. And instead of just identifying this as a fact, we need to switch gears in this conversation and talk about how that can change. Why, like people, like for one, prison shouldn't be a place that you go to receive power, to receive high regard and high esteem from your peers. You should have a community. I know, but that's the thing that we need to break down here. That's what our podcast is about. And this conversation's happening, and it's time to start talking about what like needs to happen for a person to be like regarded by his community. Because by simply living here, you should hold a certain esteem and regard from your peers, unless you're, I don't know, like misbehaving and like affecting them negatively. Then it like obviously there's an intervention that needs to happen. But just on a natural basis, a person should have value, right? How do people have value in the community? Well, and how does this relate to contraband?
You're gonna have to break down psychological warfare within oneself. So like to have value within yourself, bruh, like this ain't gonna just start with prison. Prison is the place where people go to find value. Like they go there, that's what I'm saying. They go there and be the big guy. You feel me? But you got to think about this. If all you known is your daddy, your uncles, your brothers, your grandparents, like prison is around the corner. If you in the streets, prison is around the corner. If you doing certain things, you doing that, prison is around the corner. They just picked up 78 people in South Sacramento for ADD schemes. These are people, these aren't just regular thugs on the block selling dope. Like these are housewives. These are like a whole range of different people that are all now going to jail for something. Right? You have the people who have never been there, who is finna be something totally different for them. And then you have the people who have been there, who's finna get ready, package up, and go be the man when they touch down. Like, you just, like, it's a psychological warfare within oneself. And I'm talking about from the mob bosses to way back then, even my culture in my age, you can't get to certain stripes unless you hit a prison yard. You can't move up certain ranks unless you hit a prison yard.
You're not taken seriously unless you've gone to prison.
Well, the mob used to call it going to school. That's what you're doing. You're going to school, man. I go to school. And then question for both you guys. How many people do you recall that would say like, yeah, I got 2 more sets in me? You know what I mean? Like,
wait. We've gotten away from ourselves. Right. I mean, you may bring up a very valid point about contraband knowledge, right? Like how much knowledge do you pick up about what is contraband or how to use contraband or how to like enact contraband? And I remember like this guy that had spent 20 years in prison. He was a gang member. I won't follow my habit earlier of naming people. Let's let this guy be a stranger. But he told me that when you come to jail, it's the perfect place to learn how to commit crime.
Facts.
And I, as soon as he said that, I realized he was exactly right. Because my first day in jail, 5 people or so told me how to commit my crime and get away with it. And they were like, "Oh, dude, you could have done this." And if I was let out the next day, I would have known how to do it all over again and get away with it. 5 different ways. And so, like, before you even get any material contraband in your hands, people start telling you things that are contraband. And I mean, for the sake of looking up contraband, I feel foolish that this wasn't scripted out better by myself to include the definition. But like, I don't know, like, this is you guys take it away.
Yeah, well, you're talking about like the contraband of thought, which is something that's not even you're allowed to share that, because I mean you're essentially allowed to talk, especially if you're slick with it. But yeah, you make a good point about like the thought contraband.
See, but this is where I'm saying, Joe, you are speaking on contraband as a negative thing. I'm looking at contraband as me teaching somebody how to survive. Like, you're not going to survive in prison without contraband. It just depends on, again, like my man, Pretty Boy Pustos always say, is levels to this shit. You feel me? So, like, what I would give you in the contraband level that me and you would be on would be different than the contraband level me and the homie are who I'm doing deals with and all these different things. And I used to tell you, like, bro, don't even, like, I'm going to be down in a second, but let me go handle this real quick. You feel me? Like, keep you away from that. Yeah. I don't even want them to affiliate or associate you with any of that. But like, bro, I understand, because I was one of those dudes. Like, yeah, I got another one in me. You got to understand, I did 7 years straight, came home for like however long, and was right back for another 3. Like, I got 10 years and I just turned 30. So like, for me, I seen all my uncles, my daddy, my brother. I seen everybody go to jail. My granny, my mom. Like, I done seen everybody go to jail. I done been to jail. I done been to the whole thing, from foster care, jail, juvie jail, YA, prison. You feel me? And I always be like, okay, I know how time is to be done. I mean, I got like another 3, 4 in me. You feel me? Like, and I used to have that mindset until I really became and started loving myself and realizing that I'm not taking care of my body in there. I'm not taking care of my mind in there. Like, I need to be free. You feel me? Like, you gotta break that for yourself, though. It's a lot of people who being free. Like, I'm free in prison and I'm locked up on the streets. I don't know how to be on the streets. A lot of people don't know how to be on the streets. You feel me? So they gonna spend their time where they know how to be at. Like, a lot of, like, you gotta understand, especially in the state of Oregon, like, it's just a lot of things you don't got to worry about in a sense. And like, we got flash screen TVs on the bunk, you feel me? Like, which another thing is getting cracked for the flash screen TVs, contraband. But you got flash screen TV with Dish Network, 4 movie channels, tablet. Like, it's so many things. They make prison so comfortable that it's okay if I go back. Let me shoot me 700. That's gonna be the TV, the food, the shoes, the car. That's gonna be everything I need in the beginning, and we on from here. Because prison is so comfortable, because they gave us it's privilege compared to some places where they thugging. Not saying that like the hard level or the physical, level of it, but like, just like, I just remember like laying up watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, bro. Like, I would see people running to the yard to go work out and and I'm like, bro, I'm finna watch Love and Hip Hop, bro. I'm like, I literally had the choice to just drink coffee, you feel me, and watch TV shows all day.
And Queaz brought it up.
You just make it sound. I don't want listeners to hear this. It's really important for listeners to like hear this and not think that prison's just easy and that like.
But this is what
that it's too good. This is what people already think, that you go to prison and that it's too good to have a TV. That it should, like, that's the thing. Like, that's what makes it so miserable, is that your life is unfulfilled because it's just so lazy. Listen, and you have no responsibilities.
A TV will never replace you being stolen from the world. A TV will never replace you knowing your daughter through pictures and 30-minute phone calls. A TV will never replace you going to work and being able to pay rent with your family. A TV, internet, which they don't have internet, but cable, that will never replace you missing your mom's surgery and her dying. That would never replace your granny. That would never replace your brother dying. Like, listen, if the listeners are simple-minded enough to take what I just said and think that it's okay to go to prison, then that's probably where they need to be. It's small thoughts for small minds. I say that to say that prison hides under the illusion of rehabilitation, but really there is no rehabilitation or rebuilding in prison unless you go seek it and do it yourself. So sorry if y'all misunderstood what I was saying, but please understand that it's small minds, small thoughts for small minds, and you must forgive me for I am not sorry.
And the one thing I want to say is, going back to what Queaz said, is that, I mean, it's a social hierarchy. And for those dudes that ain't got going on for them outside, they might not even have a kid. They're just literally a drug addict, and that's how they see their life. They see their life through that focal thing.
Armon, don't even call them a drug addict.
They call themselves a drug addict. They're like, I'm a smoker.
Wait, no, stop. Who gives a what a person calls themselves? That's how they've been primed to see themselves by the society that they have been
exactly.
They've been born
primed,
into.
They've been
no.
So many times they think this way.
Yes, exactly. Why you should not name them as a drug addict before you name them as a human being. Okay, like people are not contraband. That is the entire point that I'm trying to put out here. People are not contraband. A drug addict is a contraband term that you should not call another human being, because before you name a human being as anything, name them as a human. These are people who have a problem with drugs, and that's not very convenient or efficient to say, but it helps your mind see them as a human and not see them as contraband, and not see them as something that needs to be culled from society, to be culled from the community. If you understand what I mean.
No, I get exactly what you're saying, but the mind of it all is when they already see themselves as that. Like I can see the potential in anyone.
That is a mind.
A lot of these smart people in there that are sober. You know, shout out to my boy. I won't even say his name, but I went to school with him, and he was a great guy. He was all sober, in great shape, but he already knew like what time it was when he was leaving. You know, he already knew that like he didn't have the ability or the tools or anything to not want to get high, and didn't even have the resources not to not get high and go back to that. So when I seen him nodding off on the train talking about like, bro, don't even take my number down, like unless like you're wanting to be coming to this world, but you look like you have some things going on for you. You know, it's like that's for real, because me and him were already talking on the inside, like, bro, what are you gonna do when you get out? And I was giving advice to him as a brother, you know what I mean? And he was already kind of on the fence of, you know, it is what it is.
Okay.
How do we change people's mindset? That's a different thing.
I'm going to tell you guys a story. Something that happened last night. And this, God, I mean, I guess if I'm creative enough, I can relate it to contraband. But at this point, it's not even necessary, because we started talking about people with contraband thoughts and people as contraband. And this is just how it is. I was on the Max last night, and there was a guy that came on smoking a joint with a can of beer in his hand, completely wasted out of his mind. He was screaming. He was laughing like a maniac. He was going up to people and saying nonsensical streams of, and he came up to me and asked me for a lighter, and I gave him a lighter, and he lit a cigarette, and he sat down and he was like, I like you, man. What's up? And I thought to myself, okay, I've got this maniac sitting across from me, and like people are calling the cops on him for sure. And like, there's a few different ways this can go, but I've got his attention. What am I going to do with it? And I asked him if he was okay. And he was like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm going to go do a bunch of terrible things tonight. And I asked him why. I was like, don't you just want to go to sleep somewhere? Don't you just want to sleep tonight? It's like 11 o'clock and we're all on the Max trying to go home and sleep. Like, where are you going? And he was like, I've got nowhere to go. So I'm going to go do terrible things. And I was like, why don't you just find somewhere to go? And he laughed, and he was smoking, and he was saying a bunch of crazy shit. And I kept asking him, why don't you just find somewhere? I said, look, man, I looked up are you homeless? And he said, yeah, he was homeless. And I said, look, there's a Burnside shelter. Let's go there. That's somewhere to go and sleep tonight. Doesn't that sound nice? You'll wake up tomorrow morning and have nothing to worry about. And he was like, yeah, that actually sounds really nice. He started to calm down. And I asked him if he had anything to eat. And he said no. He said he was actually really hungry. So I called August, my roommate, and I was like, hey, man, can you pick up Taco Bell? I'll pay for it. I just need you to get it. And I explained the situation. And he was like, yeah, absolutely. I'll get that. And I told this guy, I was like, hey, we're getting you something from Taco Bell. He told me what he wanted. It was happening. He totally changed, was not screaming or laughing or saying crazy to people. He wasn't after anything. He was like, I asked him questions, and I was like, dude, do you still feel like doing terrible things? And he's like, no, I just want to go sleep somewhere. And like, didn't even seem drunk anymore. And he was like, man, thank you so much. And I'm not talking about how great I am here, because it's not that hard, dude. And that's something else that somebody taught me. Kat, and I guess I shouldn't be calling people out, but Kat, listen to me. Kat listened to me talk one day, and I said, thank you. And she was like, Joe, it's not that hard. And I was on the max. And thank heaven, even though Kat doesn't believe in heaven, thank heaven for Kat, because she taught me that it's not that hard. It's not that hard to see people, right? Yeah. It's not that hard to see them as something different than contraband, or the things they do, or the things they have differently than as it is as contraband. Everything this guy did was contraband. He just got out of prison 3 days ago, this guy I met last night. He was 21 years old, homeless, hadn't had a meal, drunk, didn't know where he was going. Was in the worst chaos of his life, worse than prison. Why wouldn't he go back? And you know what the most tragic part of that story is? The transit police came on and he didn't have a ticket. I had to get him off the train immediately, and I did. And when he got so scared, he ran off and wouldn't come back. And I was saying his name, which was Joey, by the way. My name is Joseph. And I kept saying, Joey, come back. And he kept running, and he was like, no, I got to get out of here. I got to go. And he ran, and he was gone, and I never saw him again. Well, it's only been a day, so I never saw him again. But that's it.
You get that on shirts, bro. I am contraband or something. That's a
no, Armon. What the? You're not contraband.
No, but it's reverse
psychology.
Exactly.
Like, you take away what they try to say we are. Like, I am this and way more. That's just like, it's a culturally thing that we do.
I see. Sorry, I got mad at you, Armon. I'm very, very emotional right now.
Because it's like, and that's real. I think that's a campaign that we need to push, that I am contraband. Like, the boy, I can't remember his name right now, too. Oh, he wrote the book, Born a Crime.
Yeah.
Trevor
oh, my
Noah.
God. No. Oh, wait, let's Trevor Noah. You're right. Oh, man.
That's
look.
I am contraband.
Queaz. Man, they're in our ear. I see it.
I heard him. That's why I put my head down now. I heard him.
We didn't even talk about tattoos or anything.
By the way, this arm is about to be contraband, by the way. This one was contraband while I was there, just to show the listeners.
So, who's gonna... Never mind.
Who's going to take us out?
Well, yeah. What's next week's episode? Let the people know what they could look forward to.
Next week's episode, actually, is Contraband Edition 2. We're going to continue this talk, and we're going to interview Michael about this. He's going to bring us his example of contraband, and we're going to talk to him about understanding contraband as an outside person, because it's something we encountered in class with him when we first met, something that it was hard for him to understand. And we're going to explain things a little to him. We had our discussion today, all of us talking about our lives and as it was with contraband. And we're going to revisit this with Michael next week. So tune in. Queaz, take us out.
Hey, man, it's your boy, man. Misfit Adi. You already know. Boo-foo. By us, for us. We in the streets with it. 10 can phone. Hey, one thing I got to say, man, free my brother BG again. I ain't going to never let him die, man. Free him till he free. You feel me? 10 can phone. We raw. We out. Joe Rosenberger, that is. And Armon.
Armon Poos.
Pretty boy Poos. Politicking Poos.
Oh, yeah.
Quarantino. Puerto Rican Poos with the tan right. This was Tin Can Phone, Contraband. We'll be at you next week. So peace, love, free all the dogs, the real ones.
Facts. Hey, Joe, you said Mike can't come back unless the contraband is stuffed in his pants, right? We holding you to
That's right.
We holding you.
We're holding him to that.
All right.
I hope he can hear us, Mike. You
Take
better have
us
something.
Out. Hey, this is becoming contraband. Get out of here.
Contraband.
Deuces, everybody.
Coming soon. I am contraband.
Hey.
The contraband slashed out.
We're stopping this.
You were listening to the 10 Can Phone podcast, where you can hear about the influence incarceration has straight from the sources. We tell the stories from the inside out. So make sure to check us out on cable community radio every first Tuesday at 10 a.m. You can also check us out on Spotify, Apple, and anywhere you love to catch your podcast. And make sure to give us a follow over at 10canphonepodcast.com. And follow our Instagram at 10canphonepodcast. This Misfit Adi signing off. Hey.